we're going to cook a Tempeh Keema. It's our take on the dish of Pakistani origin. We'll be using fresh tempeh as well as some condiments such as Henderson's relish, Swiss vegetable bouillon, sweet soy sauce, ketchup mayonnaise, and Marmite just to give it a nice depth and a richness. We'll be using fresh tempeh, which I find is a lot more robust. It has a much better flavour and it grates really well. Half of it we will grate, the other half we will chop into small half-centimetre chunks. We'll add a couple of large onions, which will be sliced, as well as a couple of inches of fresh ginger, chopped very finely or grated. We've got 6 cloves of garlic and 2 or 3 medium potatoes, which we'll chop into small chunks. Regarding the spices, we'll use 4 teaspoons of ground coriander, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, 2 teaspoons of red chilli and half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Now let's get cooking. So we use ever oil you like. I like rapeseed oil, something that's got a nice high cooking point there. Add the onions, cook them for about 5 minutes or so, or a little bit longer, just to make sure they're softened and nicely browned. And then add the ginger and the crushed garlic. Be careful not to burn the garlic and ginger, they can burn quite easily. So cook them for about 5 minutes, and then add the tomatoes. If you use cherry tomatoes, chop them in half, stir them round just to soften them, and add some water if you like. It just helps to cook them along. So after 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, you want to add some more salt, and then it's time for the spices. Make sure there's not too much water in there. You don't want it too wet. You want it quite dry. So you want to fry the spices, not boil them. So you want to get a nice sort of paste going and cook them for a good 5 minutes. Don't be too shy with the cooking. They need lots of time to bring out those flavours. Add water if necessary, just to stop it burning. And then it's time for the tomato puree. Stir them round there, and now add the tempeh. You want to add the chunks first and the grated tempeh. Now I've got to use 2 types just to give it a nice contrast, a bit of different texture in there. You can use all grated if you prefer. I like to have both, just gives it a little bit of difference, and I like the different textures. Add water and cook them for about 20 minutes. You want to add some ketchup mayonnaise, a good healthy couple of squeezes. And the ketchup mayonnaise, it doesn't give it a sweetness, just gives it a depth. Even though it's sweet soy sauce, gives it a nice richness. And at this stage, we'll also add the Swiss vegetable bouillon, and that just gives it a nice depth as well there. So cook them for a while, and then it's time for the potatoes. So we'll add those potato chunks, give them a little mix in, and then make sure there's enough water to cook them, because we're going to pop a lid on, but you want it nice and wet so they can boil away there. It's going to take at least 20 minutes, depending on the potato, maybe up to 30 minutes, 40. Add some Marmite, 2 teaspoons as well, and then we will add the frozen peas. So the peas will take about 5 minutes to cook, and then your dish will nearly be ready. Once the peas are ready, test for taste and add some more condiments if you like, such as a bit more ketchup mayonnaise, some additional salt if required, and your Tempeh Keema is ready to eat and enjoy.